That kept popping up in some English farm fields. Well, similar circles have been spotted now near St. Cloud. These strange formations were spotted today in a farm field just outside of Ogilvie in Kennebec County. They were carved into fields owned by a farmer by the name of Harold Smith. Now, of course, the question is, how did they get there, and what does Farmer Smith have to say about these circles? Well, tune in at 6 to find out.
Oh, come on. You can't tell us now?
Oh, well, I would give it away, and then who would watch the 6?
Well, that's a cheap way of getting viewers for the 6.
We've been doing it for years. It's called television.
Okay.
Well, it's about 7 minutes.
Tonight on KARE 11 News, no one is sure what they are, but these mysterious circles are causing quite a stir in a central Minnesota town.
Also, they're at the center of a mystery that's attracting plenty of attention. Good evening. No one is sure if it's a hoax or a close encounter.
But whatever it is drawing dozens of curiosity seekers to a small central Minnesota farm. The crop circles were discovered Saturday on a farm about 8 miles east of Malacca in Kennebec County. And as KARE 11's Melissa Young reports, the circles are becoming the area's most talked about unsolved mystery.
It's the time of year when farmers traditionally get back into their fields. But Harold Smith and his wife Betty aren't in here to harvest corn. They're trying to solve a mystery.
I'm stumped.
Over the weekend, their son was flying over the fields when he spotted 3 perfect circles far off the road. One flattened clockwise, the other 2 counterclockwise. Harold figured it was bears. His family wasn't sure.
He climbed up on the silo then to see where we could, where to walk out. And Harold wasn't interested in checking it out.
No four-wheel tracks in here. Nothing.
Police believe it's all the work of kids playing a prank. What do you guys think?
I think in a small town like this, if somebody did something, that people would have been talking about it. There is not enough brains in this town to come up with something like this.
If the theory that the kids went around in a circle and done this, the kid standing in the middle would have tramped them completely flat. And this circle was undisturbed. When we first got in here to check it, it was nothing. It was undisturbed.
Harold admits he never believed in UFOs before, but now he's not so sure.
If we were visited, I wish they'd have stopped. I'd like to talk to them. I suppose we'd have had a little, me and old dumb Norwegian trying to talk to them. I suppose we wouldn't have communicated real good, but it would have been interesting.
For now, the circles will stay, while neighbors and the curious use their imaginations.
It's all done so evenly.
Come harvest time, it all may be combined away. Harold says he wishes he'd charged admission. Given the attention it's causing, it sure beats the price of corn. Melissa Young, KARE 11 News, Malacca.
And several self-processed UFO experts plan to visit that site. We'll have more from Malacca tonight on KARE 11 News at 10.
Ogilvie, Minnesota, which is north of the Twin Cities. That's the question farmer Harold Smith is pondering tonight. He found 3 crop circles on his land and just can't imagine how they got there. Dave Huddleston has the story.
By air, you can plainly see the unusual formations. One large circle in the middle, surrounded by 2 smaller ones.
There was no sign of anybody being in there prior to when we seen it and walked in. I was one of the first ones in there.
This is not the first time circles have been left on farm fields. A couple of years ago, unexplained formations were left on a wheat field in England. After speculating about UFOs, a couple of pranksters finally admitted they did it as a joke. Harold Smith has heard that theory, but he isn't convinced.
They had the theory of maybe doing it with a rope and going in a circle, one kid standing in the middle, pivoting, holding the rope and letting out more rope as another 2, 3 more kids went around the circle, tramping it down until they got the circle big enough. But if that was the case, there was 2 lumps of dirt about the size of my fist right smack in the middle of that circle that never had been disturbed, and they would have been flat.
The circles here in Kennebec County are attracting some attention. And one local resident says this isn't the first time there's been talk of UFOs.
My mom's seen big bright lights coming off the bog, and a neighbor had seen it and called my dad, and my mom was already seeing it. And it was unexplainable, and it was gone just like that.
If it wasn't extraterrestrial beings that created the circles, Harold Smith wants to know what did.
I'm anxious to see if somebody can come up with an explanation. So far, nobody has.
With producer Marion Davey, Dave Huddleston, 4 News at 6.
Well, the county sheriff calls this incident, and we quote him, curious.
A deer with only 2 legs on one side, so it walks.
Folks, or a message from another world. This is KARE 11 News at 10. Beyond. Dozens of people wandered out to a stand of corn near Malacca today looking for 3 big circles reportedly left over the weekend by a UFO. They may not have discovered any answers, but they did find plenty to talk about. Here's KARE 11's Jim Marsh.
Why is it a close encounter with a UFO is never on Hennepin Avenue or Dale Street?
Yeah, I think it's right over here.
No, visitors from outer space seem to have a fascination with Harold Smith's remote cornfield near Malacca.
Circles are a little too perfect.
From the air, Matt Carlson is right. 1 big circle and on either side 2 smaller ones. Matt is just one of dozens of curious onlookers wondering since last weekend, are we really alone?
You've seen 1 circle go clockwise, the big one go counterclockwise. Do you believe in UFOs? Yeah, I'd say I do. You know, there's something's got to be explained here.
One doesn't know until one looks. See what happens.
Enter Richard Moss and John Sawicki, UFO hunters, if you will, who take all this very seriously.
It's hard to make a case for something big and heavy setting down because you don't see anything crushed here.
In fact, both John and Richard are with the popular notion that kids are responsible for this. Just one big joke. But there's always room for doubt.
Actually, what a guy should do if you really want to try and pin it down is get a couple of guys with a chain, go off someplace else and see if you could duplicate this.
Would it really matter? You either believe or you don't. Near Malacca, Jim Marsh, KARE 11 News.
Similar patterns were discovered in English wheat fields several years ago, but were dismissed as a hoax. But still, crowds are flocking to Malacca to decide for themselves.
In a Minnesota farmer's field, neighbors say it's the work of aliens.
Of some pranksters. In a cornfield near Ogilvie, just north of the metro area, mysterious circles have appeared. Farmer Harold Smith has heard that other crop circles in Britain were made by pranksters using ropes and boards, but Farmer Smith in this case doesn't think that's what happened here. But he would like an explanation.
Now, why doesn't he think that's what happened there?
Because of the ground, it didn't seem trampled. There were a lot of reasons that Farmer Smith gave, and I think they were all good ones.
Okay.
Very good.
Dimension is next.